Can you see us? Hi, everyone. We are working out a technical glitch, so bear with us as we navigate the new world of virtual fundraising and connecting. Let me see if I can't get this sorted. There we go.
Wow, we are so.
All right. Round two. Let us try this again. So hello and welcome. Thank you everybody for being here this evening. It's such an honor to host our 30th anniversary wine event and fundraiser. I can't believe it's been 30 years. Anyway, so bear with us as we attempt to make this a seamless event as we go through the evening. And we are professionally unprofessional around navigating technical issues.
That's why we have wine tonight, to relax, to celebrate, to have some fun. Thanks for bearing with us during the mishaps. My name is Brian Smith.
I'm Tinja Anderson.
And together we are part of the Mass Mutual Special Care team, and we're going to co-host tonight's celebration with Mary Jane, the Executive Director for Family to Family Network. And we want to take time in the beginning to just say we really appreciate everyone tuning in, being with us tonight on a Thursday evening, celebrating 30 great years, hopefully for another beautiful, amazing 30 more years of helping even more families than we did in the first 30. So we really, truly appreciate everyone purchasing a ticket, having some fun. Hopefully the kids aren't too anxious right now, and we can sit back, relax. We're going to highlight two families tonight that have had a big impact with Family to Family, that have helped us throughout the years. And it's we figured for 30 big years, we might as well honor some of the best families out there. So we want to sit back and have some fun. So
yeah. So thank you ahead of time for helping us continue to create success for children with disabilities. So a few housekeeping things before we get started. Write this number down, 713. It's scrolling on the bottom of your screen, 713-929-2009. You're going to use this to text F2F for the auction. You're going for the silent auction. If you haven't gotten to the link yet and checked everything out there, that's where you're going to get your link to the silent auction. You're also going to use it to fund a need, so to donate. So as we go through this evening, we're going to be going through a couple different levels of donation and different reasons why we would love that support. And then also raffle prizes. So it's F2F auction if you want to get to the silent auction. F2F 30 if you want to fund a need or donate. It's going to be raffle if you won the raffle. So throughout the evening, stay tuned. We're going to be doing a couple raffle prize winners. So in your baskets that everybody got, you got raffle prize tickets. So Mary Jane's going to be announcing that winner. We don't have names on the raffle tickets, so make sure that you have them out and you have the numbers ready to go.
So before we honor our first family tonight, I do want to highlight some of the sponsors for helping us put all of this together in a year that was crazy, a year that was I think we all can say, let's put it on the back burner and never talk about 2020 again. These families, these organizations, these companies went above and beyond to support Family to Family this year. And so we definitely want to highlight that. And the first organization or families we want to highlight for our Changemaker and Barrier Breaker sponsors, Dr. Sippy and Mr. Ajay Karuna and Mr. Ronald Cook. Thank you so much. They were some of our top sponsors, and we definitely want to give them, I guess, a silent round of applause just because we're not in person. A little weird.
Yeah.
And then our next level of sponsorships are from some great families, some great organizations. Mike Fitzgerald out there in Katy does a fantastic job working with families and individuals doing financial planning. He's a stand-up gentleman. He's got a beautiful family. So thank you, Mike, for your sponsorship. Boyd Hanley, a fellow board member with Tinja and I. He's a fantastic attorney out there on the west side of Houston. He's also sponsored Family to Family, Sharon and Pete Meaden, Renee and Kevin Parker, and then Teresa, Doug. Vermellen. So thank you so much for your support, everyone. We truly appreciate it. And we're going to jump right into the first family.
Hold on, we have two more things around sponsors. So our Helping Hand sponsors. So thank you guys so much. Your names are on the scrn.
And then the Linear Law Firm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Got too excited.
We are very excited this evening.
But I'm going to turn it over. We're going to turn it over to Mary.
One more. Bear with us. We are professional MCs. We also have our silent auction that we wanted to make sure to announce. So our silent auction donors, thank you guys so much for helping us achieve our goal. And throughout the night, at the end of the evening, we're also going to pop up our thermometer of what we've been able to achieve with everything.
Yep.
So without further ado, shall I turn it over to Miss Mary Jane?
We should.
Okay. Well, don't forget to open your wine. You do have a basket full of it. All right.
Mary Jane.
There we go.
Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. We're so excited to do this, and thank you, Tinja and Brian from Mass Mutual's Special Care Team for starting us off. Does everybody have their wine open? Unfortunately, I'm here in the office, so I'm having a little sparkling soda. This is how Family to Family got started so many years ago. Mom's sitting around a kitchen table, just like you're doing now, or maybe you're sitting in your couch somewhere, and they were sharing their fears and their hopes and their dreams. And most of those families met at a therapy center. So we don't really have a marketing budget. So therapy centers play a real important role in helping families find us. And that's why tonight we're honoring Sarah McMahon of the Team Approach. Well, that's not the only reason. We all know Sarah's so wonderful. She and her husband, John, have supported Family to Family Network since those early days. Sarah was initially providing therapy to some of the kids of the original family members. And both of them have served on our board at one time or another over the last few years. So I am really appreciative of the McMahons. John used to come down and change our light bulbs in the office that we had on 529 a long time ago. But anyway, let's share a little bit and let Sarah explain why why Family to Family is important to her.
McMahon. I am a physical therapist, also the owner of the Team Approach, which is a pediatric multidisciplinary clinic who provides services for kids with disabilities and their families. We provide occupational therapy, speech therapy, physical therapy, as well as aquatic therapy and feeding therapy. I think prior to that, I was a therapist. I wouldn't say like a typical therapist that was, giving home programs that were 10 pages long, that had all of these expectations of families that now that I know better was a little more unrealistic. Once I started to be involved in Family to Family, it really gave me that perspective that disability affects the whole family and really the whole community. And that to accomplish my job, there were so many different aspects that I was missing to be able to really accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish with the kids that I saw. If I go back and I think about one of the, one of those moments that you always remember, it was when there was a presentation by Kathy Snow. And she had a very different perspective on the importance of therapy in children's lives. And it was a really hard thing to take at first because for the first time, somebody told me that I was not the most important thing in a child's life with a disability. It was information that I really needed to hear. I also needed to hear the perspective of what it felt like to have a disability and to hear the word disability and of all the connotations that came with that. I always felt like I was respectful of that, but I feel like going through that process and meeting the people I have through Family to Family gave me a different perspective on how to be more respectful to the families and that I work with. Family to Family has just had such a profound effect on even how the business was created. The systems that we have in place, the processes that we do, are all geared towards supporting the family as a whole. And that is really something that I particularly got from my involvement in Family to Family. So we provide time to our therapists for going to ARDS meetings with the kids. And because I think that we have a perspective to give to the schools that they don't necessarily get, we're really there to support them in every way. And I think that that, again, is a philosophy that came directly from Family to Family. I think one of the other concepts that I really gained from Family to Family was that presumed competence piece. That was a term that was brought really early on, and it was really in every aspect of what I do now. I always have that in the back of my head. I have that presumed competence. Every child I come across, I see them as a competent person, and try to put all of those supports in place to support that competence and to presume that that's there. You know, you can give them websites, you can give them books to read, but to have people who are either going through it with them or have been there before is a totally different perspective for the families. And I think that it's a really important resource to be able to give to families, to say, you know, hey, you know, call down there, see what they have, see if they have time to see you. And they always have come away saying, thank you for getting me involved. Thank you for giving me that number. I feel more confident now. I feel like I'm not going through it alone. That is, continues to be one of the most important aspects of Family to Family. It wasn't created as a typical support group, and that was always very important to the people that founded Family to Family, was a place to move forward. And it's like, this is where we are, and we need to have information to move forward and not be stuck where we are. We need to now take this information, support each other to go forward and live our lives the best that we can. That was what I've always really liked about Family to Family, because I think families feel that. You know, they feel that, okay, now I can do something. They feel empowered to take that information, those resources, and to move forward.
Awesome. So that was the first family. Again, I wish we were in person. Watching the chat and all the comments, Sarah's an all-star in our community. Some takeaways that I had when I first watched that video were really three things. Was, you know, she mentioned the whole family, the whole community. And we always grow up, it takes a village to raise a child. And it's even more so when we need a little extra help here and there. And that's something that Family to Family and other organizations really strive to do, is taking a holistic approach to helping that family, that mom, that dad, wherever they are, meeting them where they're at, giving them the resources and pointing them in the right direction. Another thing too that she mentioned was supporting the family as a whole. I think that's huge. It's not, you know, we at Family to Family try not to just silo one issue or one topic, but looking at it from an entire approach to the family, is what services they need, what education do they need, helping them become the best mom or the best dad they can be for their child. That's really the approach that we want to take. And that really is everything, looking at everything. And the most important thing is empowering all the super moms and super dads. I know it's tough. I know sometimes you just want to scream. You just want to kind of just let loose for a little bit. But at the end of the day, you guys are amazing moms, amazing dads, amazing brothers, amazing sisters out there. And sometimes you just need to give yourself a pat on the back, and empowering you to be the best advocate that you can be at the end of the day is the goal. So those are kind of my comments that I saw on the video. It's amazing. Team approach is awesome. So I'm going to pass it back to Mary Jane. We're going to highlight the second family, the Parker family, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you, Sarah and John and the team approach. You all have been amazing for so many families, and I know that there's been a lot of success that's come out of there. You really encourage young adults to go on to employment, and you also have a young adult group, and I know they were actually doing a service project this last month for Thanksgiving. So, I mean, you really do presume competence, and that's so important for all families. And as we lead into the next honoree, the Parkers, they I don't think they ever did not presume competence of James. James is a wonderful young man. He has a business, and they have been around since the early years. And both of them have supported the board in some way. Renee really got involved a lot back when Family to Family first started, helping with a lot of the holiday parties, etc. And so, anyway, let's listen to the Parker story.
Parker.
I'm Renee Parker, and this is James Parker.
We're the Parkers, and we want to tell you a little bit about our story with Family to Family Network. Renee and I were married in 1984. We had our first child, Amy, in 1988, and then we had James in 1991. And that was after we had moved to Amarillo, Texas. James was born, and when he was about 9 months old, we got a diagnosis regarding his condition, and we were told that he had something called the Allan-Herndon-Dudley syndrome, which is a X-linked genetic condition. And we were told by a neurologist that that was going to create both physical and cognitive challenges for James throughout his life. And so that's a significant and kind of devastating diagnosis. And we felt instantly overwhelmed at the thought of the prospect of what this was going to look like. We couldn't really get our minds around it.
Well, when we were leaving Amarillo, we were talking about moving to Houston, and I asked some of the parents there if they knew of anyone in Houston, and they said, well, we believe there's a group there called Family to Family Network. And so that is how I found out about Family to Family. And when I came to Houston, one of the very first things I did was look this group up. And I immediately got in touch with them, and I think by August, which is the month we moved here, I went to the first Family to Family meeting. Because I just knew that we needed help, we needed support, we needed the resources that Family to Family could provide. Through the years, they helped us through the education process, and then when James was in 8th grade, Family to Family brought a speaker in by the name of Carrie Griffin. And Carrie Griffin was a employment specialist. And he told wonderful stories about people with disabilities getting jobs. And I went home that night and I told my husband, Kevin, James is going to be employed. I don't know how, but I was inspired and I was ready to pursue that dream. I talked to others in Family to Family. We brainstormed how this could happen. I learned about self-employment, and that was the perfect vehicle for James to become employed, because he wasn't going to go out and compete in the regular job market, and he wasn't going to fill out an application and do an interview. But if we could come up with a self-employment business that James loved, then he could be employed. And one thing James loves to do is put objects into containers. And so we took that skill and we turned it into a business. Now James puts paper into a shredder and he loves it. And we call the business Shredding on the Go. We roll James's wheelchair up into his van, and we put the shredder in the van and we take off and we do shredding. And not only is James the business owner of Shredding on the Go, but he is also employing other people with disabilities to work for Shredding on the Go so that they are employed. And so we've had an impact on others' lives, and it all started with Family to Family.
These are dedicated people running this organization, mostly parents of kids with disabilities who really care and really want to be there for you. Working after hours, not getting paid a lot. They're there because they care and they want to make the lives of people with disabilities better, and they can do that by helping their parents.
Hi, my name is James, and I am a big fan of Family to Family Network because they helped me go to school the way I wanted to. Instead of being separated from other kids, I was in their class, making friends, and learning how to act in school. I loved it. And that helped me to be ready to run a business. I'm a people person because of who I met in school, and I met people in school because of Family to Family Network.
Yeah, Family to Family needs to stay around because children with disabilities are being born every week, every month, all the time, and their parents need the help Family to Family provides. That's not going to stop. And so the services we got, starting way back in 1995 and continuing since then, need to continue for other parents, especially parents of very young children who are facing this new thing for the very first time. And also the law changes, the medical benefits change, the technology changes. Family to Family keeps up with that and helps parents keep up with that. It's a fluid world. Everything's changing. And so we need an organization that with staying power, like Family to Family Network, to stay around.
Awesome. I know I'm watching the chat, and it's an extremely inspiring story, the Parker family. James reminds me of my own brother, James. James Parker's smile is extremely contagious. I think he can light up an entire building by just walking through the lobby, just with his little smile on the face.
I remember meeting him the first time
at the conference.
At the conference,
Yeah.
and he was just a celebrity. And so being able to have that kind of inspirational story just gives so much hope to other families as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool themes that I saw between Sarah and the Parker family was, I constantly always refer to us as like super moms and super dads, and they never took the diagnosis or the impairment or the disability as a wall. They took it as a minor speed bump, and they kept on moving forward. They didn't come up with excuses, and that's what Family to Family wants to do for all the families, is empower them to make that change, to be that purpose in life, so that their child has a sense of community with other families, with other peers, employment opportunities. It's all about pushing forward, and these families didn't take what the cards they were dealt and just say, this is all I've got. They made a difference. And it's not a joke, or it's not an unknown thing that
say it lightheartedly. Yeah.
Right. We live in Texas, and we've got to do it ourselves. A lot of times the support services from the state aren't going to be there for us. And Family to Family's mission is really to help and empower and to educate what's there, what can you go after, what can you get, what can you implement to better your life. And it's really inspiring. These families that they just took it by the reins and they said, look, we're going to make that difference. We're going to be that inspiration to other families so that they can follow suit as well, so that their child's life is going to be improved. So thank you so much. It's an honor to have you guys be a part of our 30th anniversary. We truly appreciate you guys making the videos for us. I'm sorry that we couldn't be in person at our luncheon that we planned on doing, but you guys are amazing families, and thank you so much for your support throughout the year.
Absolutely. All right, so we are ready for our first raffle. So I am bringing Miss Mary Jane back on screen.
Yay.
Everybody go ahead and grab your baskets. Make sure you've got your raffle cards ready to go, or tickets. If you are a winner, go ahead, either put your name and your email in the chat, or grab your phone and text 713-929-2009, and you're going to text raffle. And please make sure that you select one, put your name and email if that's the option that you're going to select. Okay, Miss Mary Jane, drum roll,
So
please.
the magic number is 110573. I guess I can show it in the
Alright.
screen there.
Oh, and this is for a $25 Panera Bread gift card. So you are the
Woohoo!
grand prize winner.
Get your $25 of carbs, guys.
I
Go
hear
let
they have
loose.
a great Red Bull chowder,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Oh,
great
yeah.
for this time of year since it's so cold. I'm sitting over here shivering. Anyways, all right. So if we have a winner, please make sure that you text or put it in the chat so that we can get you that gift card. Excellent. All right. So because it is our 30th anniversary wine event, we have special wine tasting notes done by very professional sommeliers. So in your basket, you have a white wine and a red wine. You also have some tasting note cards in there. So if you want to be super professional about your tasting experience, please make sure that you take note of the smell and the herbal notes and, swirl it around. Make sure that you're very, very savvy around your wine tasting. So here we go with our professionally done wine. So tonight in your baskets, you guys have a featured white wine and a featured red wine. The white wine is the Kia Ora, which is a Sauvignon Blanc, personally my favorite. It's actually really crisp, it's very acidic, but it's also got these herbal flowery notes as well. So you're gonna see you're gonna taste things like nectarine, passion fruit, a little lime zest.
Kick at the end.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really crisp finish, but it's a New Zealand wine. It's from Marlborough, so it's gonna be, it's just a traditional but zesty wine.
New World wine, which is really interesting. For the ones that did the date night, we'll have another bottle from France with the same grapes. So we're gonna kind of compare New World, Old World.
I love that. So we're official, unofficial wine connoisseurs. So we're super excited.
Officially an amateur.
Officially an amateur. And then for the red wine, we have the Carmen Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a full-bodied Cabernet. It's fruity, it's juicy, but it's also got some rich tannins, but not too tanniny. Personally, I don't like it real gritty tanniny. But the legs on it, you're gonna see when you swirl that wine glass, it's gonna be...
Don't spill the wine, please.
No spilla lopa. But we do hope you guys enjoy the wine selections for tonight. So very professional sommelier wine tasting notes. But we generally do hope that you enjoy the wine. I had a great time going and tasting the wine. That lime zest at the kick at the end is great. So without further ado, tonight is all about helping Family to Family Network reach a fundraising goal. We have several things that we would love to be able to help make an impact within our community to fund a need. And so we're going to do this in layers, and we're going to build as we go through it. So do you want to go ahead and introduce why we are funding a need?
Yeah. So Family to Family, as we've talked about all night, we do multitude of different services, education, different helping of the families. And so we're going to break this down into multiple levels of 50, 100, 250, 500, and 1,000. And we're going to ask for different things for different purposes. All the families that come through the door have a different story, a different background, a different reason to meet with Mary Jane and the staff. Everyone needs help in their own unique way, and we have to go out and meet them at where they're currently at in the road so that we can help that child. And so the first level that we're going to listen to is for case management, is really helping where that family is right now. And that's the $50 level. And we do have videos for every level, so you can hear firsthand the impact that we have with the families.
And so as we go through, don't forget, text F2F30 to be able to donate and help us fund a need. So without further ado, video number 1.
Samir, and I'm the mother of 3 children. My eldest is 13 and he has Down syndrome. So Family to Family Network has provided an array of services to me personally. I've attended their annual conferences, I've attended their resource fairs, I have attended their advocacy trainings, which have given personally me a lot of confidence in, figuring out what my rights are, how to kind of advocate more for my child. And I love their website, Texas Project First, which I know they were instrumental in creating it. And it has really helped me in navigating the complex special education, medical and social services. They're very complicated to do it on your own. Many other families in my community who may have, let's say, a language barrier or a cultural barrier, and they are struggling a lot more than maybe I am. And I understand their struggles. So I've connected them many times with Family to Family Network. We collaborate with them on info sessions, and I found them to be extremely helpful. And I think what really helps us is that they're very sensitive to the cultural differences, and they really do a very good job of including everybody. And our families have definitely benefited by being connected to the right resources that they needed. I would love for Family to Family Network to be around for another 30 years because I feel like in the Houston special need community, in the Houston disabled community, there will be a wide gap if they did not exist. The way I see it is that there are all these services, there are all these organizations, governmental agencies, private organizations, all these professionals who have a wealth of knowledge, and they're willing to provide all these resources and services. But then the families are all the way here, and they're overwhelmed, and they're struggling, and they don't know what's out here. So Family to Family Network does a great job of bridging these two. And if they didn't exist, I don't know how we would be able to connect the two. We had a family who was literally out on the street, and they had a daughter who was nonverbal on the autism spectrum disorder and had never been to school, had extreme behavioral difficulties, and we were contacted by another local organization to provide support for the child. And we reached out to Family Network. There were so many services that they needed that we didn't even know where to start. And they literally, I feel like they held the family's hand and walked them through the whole process. I'm happy to report the family now is in a much better place than they were before.
So I think they cut that off a little bit. The family is doing well now, and we really need support for this area. Many of you reached out to Leslie or myself or Christina or Judy, and we help families navigate the whole process. As Azra said, you don't even know where to begin when you have a child with a disability. And right now, Family to Family serves about 650 families through case management or information referral every year, and we do it for free. This is one of the areas of our program where we don't have any funding. It's all really based on donations from you guys, and we so appreciate it. And speaking of donations, we got our first few donations in. I'd like to thank my good friend Brandy Brown she was the first donor. Yay! Thank you, Brandy. And then Christy Pickrell has also donated. So thank you, Christy. We really appreciate it. So yes, I appreciate that. Those everyone who donates for this, thank you so much, because this is really one of the areas of our organization where it's really our heartstrings, and we get calls all the time and emails from families, and they're just starting out in the process and they just don't know where to go. And so thank you. So Tinjin, Brian, back to you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the people who've already donated and supported us tonight. The second level that we're going to jump to is the $100 level, and this is for training. So the training serves 20 people and would go to covering the cost for the staff, the mileage, the materials. And so it's about $120 or $1,200 a day with everything all included. But this level that we were able to work out was about $100. And so we have some really cool stuff coming up in 2021 that I'm excited to share towards the end with our families. But for this level, it's $100 for the training. And we have another family to talk about the training that they experienced.
Yeah. So, but just to extrapolate, so the $1,200 a day is actually what it costs for Mary Jane to go out and actually do a day worth of training. Yep. So this $100, it's really just only able to reach about 20 people. We would love to be able to reach so many more than that. So that $100 goes it goes a long way. So without further ado, I want to introduce Cesar.
Susa Palacios, but I go by Susie. My son's name is Jonathan Christopher Palacios, and Jonathan is adopted. I adopted him when he was 8 months old. He is 19 now. He has multiple disabilities. He has intellectual disabilities, he has autism, he's vision and hearing impaired, and he's also an individual that does not speak. He's never spoken in his life. And so we're planning an entrepreneurship around Jonathan and what he likes and what he plans to do in the future. When Jonathan was young, I was lost. I had no idea that he had all these disabilities. I had no idea what to do. They referred us to several outside agencies, and there were many, and everybody gravitated to the agency, and I elected to go to Family to Family. Jonathan was about 6 or 7 then, because I started late. I didn't know where to go. I will always remember my first conference with Family to Family. It was all about inclusion. It lasted 3 days. They gave me a book this thick to learn from it, and wonderful speakers that you could relate to, that I could relate to, because I knew nothing. I knew nothing. That conference taught me a great deal, but it taught me a great deal about Family to Family. They cared. They cared about us. They cared on what we did, what we learned. I learned so much from Family to Family. They took me from Special Education 101 to where I am today with Jonathan. They taught me how to accept the disability, how to work at it and become better in assisting not only my son, but others. They made it consistent to my son's age at the time. It was age appropriate. So they took me from the elementary years in school to middle school to high school and now adulthood. So they never stop educating you. The one thing that family will not do, and more organizations should do this, is they don't do it for you. They allow you, they give you the words to say, the words not to say, and then you have to do it as a parent. And that's how you learn. But Family to Family will teach you all those steps. They've always been there, not only for transitioning stages, but if you need to talk to someone, and they will help you with that. They will make you feel part of the family. And you know why they're so good at it? Because they're experienced at it. They started it from day one. I mean, when disabilities was unknown to people, they didn't talk about it, autism, the whole bit. They started back then because they have individuals themselves with disabilities. People don't know, or maybe they do know, but it's not spoken about, is they work with Austin, the legislation. They take you there, they teach you what it's all about, because changes are going to start at the legislation. I had the wonderful opportunity to go with a couple of the staff members. I didn't do very well, but that didn't matter. Just the feeling of being there and knowing and building those relationships with your representatives, your senators, that's what matters, because that's where changes begin. Family to Family will teach you how to do it, will take you there, will guide you. Guidance is very important, and they know how to do it best. I don't think I could do what I'm doing today if it hadn't been Family to Family. I owe them everything, and I will support them as long as I'm here.
Susie first showed up at our door and came in, and Jonathan was so young. But she participated in a lot of our training events. And, you know, over the last year, we've trained over 1,100 individuals. And some of that was paid training and some of it wasn't. A lot of times it's going out to groups like Azra's and helping those families who are just starting out. And so it's really important to get out there and provide training for families. And I think Tinja has a lead into our next
So we're actually going
video.
to take this opportunity and do our next raffle. Are you ready with some raffle tickets?
Oh, okay. Yay.
We got prizes. I love prizes. I always seem to win. win. I don't know what it is, but I always win. When I play bingo, I'm a winner. Okay. So raffle prize number 2.
So-
we are winning a $50 Olive Garden Group gift card. Who do we have?
And so the lucky winner is 110652.
All right. So if you are the lucky winner, make sure you either type in the chat box that you won and how to get that gift card to you, and or text raffle to the number that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, 713-929-2009. Awesome. All right. So let's move on to our next speaker. So this next round for Fund a Need, again, we are absolutely here to help support this organization. And one of the things that I absolutely love about what Family to Family does is the one-on-one IEP and ARD meeting coaching. Victoria Lamb is a good friend of mine, and we worked with her family doing life care planning. And one of the things that I love is being able to refer experts to our clients to really make sure that that value is added to their lives. And one of the things that she was struggling was making sure that she could advocate on behalf of her child in these meetings and make sure that she's getting the right classes and the right coaching around what to say and how to say it, to make sure that her daughter is getting what she needed. So without further ado, I know I surprised her and just let her know that she's going to be featured on our event tonight. So here is Victoria Lamb. Well, it looks like we are all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. So, we are in uncharted territory. I've said it like 5 times now. I think we've moved our entire practice virtual for most things. And so working on a new platform, we definitely had to work out some kinks. So thank you for bearing with us. Victoria, we didn't have to show your video. I know you were nervous about that, but I would have loved to have shared it. It's also on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. So if you have a chance to go and listen to her story, I'd highly recommend it if you're curious about the one-on-one coaching side of things. Mary Jane, do you want to take a moment and explain a little bit more about what we do for the one-on-one coaching? Hold on, let me get you on screen.
So sure. First thing, I want to thank Mary Clark and Amy Hidson, that's James's sister, for their recent donations. Thank you so much. They did the $100 level, and we really appreciate it. So actually, the IEP coaching piece is really geared towards those families that are transitioning into the preschool program or the early childhood special ed program. And we really try to help them understand their evaluation and then go to the ARD meeting the first time and helping them just build their confidence. And that's what really Victoria talked about, is how she came in with all these questions and she didn't understand what was going to happen at that first IEP meeting. And then after she spent, usually I spend a good, and Leslie would too, probably about 6 to 8 hours with that family, just trying to help them navigate that first time in the ARD meeting or the IEP meeting. So that's it. Do you want me to transition to the next one, or are you guys going to do that?
We got it, Mary Jane. All right. So for our next Fund a Need, our next level is $500. So again, text F2F30 in order to help us fund a need and help us support the leadership and advocacy side of things.
So the next individual that we're going to hear from is one of the strongest willed individuals I've ever come across. She's very, very determined to make a very positive impact in our community. And that's Jayshree Ellis. She's also founded Greater Houston Disability Chamber of Commerce. She's definitely going to be, if you haven't heard of Jayshree Ellis, you will in the future. She is going to be an all-star in this community. Family to Family was lucky to get to know her, to train her, to set her up for success and what she's doing now. for her and her family. So that's who we're going to hear from next.
My name is Jayshree Ellis, and I am a mom of 3. I'm also an obstetrician gynecologist, and I'm a disability advocate. And I'm a disability advocate because of Family to Family Network, but we'll talk about that later. I reached a point where I really had accepted Jim's disability, and he has autism, so he doesn't understand many words. And I said, okay, I'm gonna look into advocacy, and I had no idea what that meant. But I was like, obviously, I need to do this because I don't know what I need to know. And so I signed up for these classes, and we met. And in that workshop, she didn't sugarcoat anything, but she wasn't bitter, and she wasn't angry, and she still had hope. And she gave me hope, because at that time I needed hope. But I didn't realize that that's what I was looking for as I went to all these different workshops. And those other workshops couldn't give me that. So it makes me want to tear up, because it was pivotal for me. I learned how to look at my son differently. I learned that I was further disabling him with the attitudes and views that I had. And I would have had no way of knowing that, because I really felt like I was doing all the right things. But in fact, I wasn't, because I learned that I didn't have expectations for Jimmy. And I learned that that was unfair. And I learned the difference between compassion and pity. And what I had from my son was pity, and that's not what anyone wants. So I learned to look at him differently, not just somebody with a disability, but like my child. I came to accept that he wasn't going to be the person that I decided he was supposed to be when I was pregnant with him. And that was really important, because I didn't know that about my other 2 either, that I had to just let them be who God had for them to be. But Family to Family Network helped me to be able to process it in a healthier way, and to be able to have hope, and to have expectations, and to expect Jimmy to be his best like I expected of my other 2, but to understand that that would have to happen differently. It also taught me that I had the ability to help others through Jimmy's path. And as a result of that, I've become involved in a lot of wonderful initiatives in our community to help people with not just autism, but people with all disabilities, to make sure that there is inclusion, and to make sure that the community is educated and aware, and that people with disabilities have the opportunity to live, work, and play in the community like the rest of us. And all of the things that I get to take part in now wouldn't have been possible without Family to Family. I will always be grateful for this organization and the wonderful work that they do.
Thanks, Mary Jane.
Oh, let me try and get.
So
Mary
we heard from Jayshree Ellis. I know Mary Jane has some comments she wants to touch on. Mary Jane, are you there?
I am here, but I don't know what's happened to me.
You're a nice big blue.
I can hear you.
Okay, well,
Well,
if you
go
can
ahead
hear
and give
me-
us your.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't know why my screen has frozen, but anyway, that is the technology. So I just wanted to say that leadership and advocacy is so important. It's really important not only for family members, but individuals with disabilities. And they really learn to get their own voice when they come to our leadership and advocacy training. And so many, I went back and looked, and we've probably trained over 1,200 graduates from our leadership and advocacy programs, and they become leaders elsewhere, just like Jayshree. She's running the Greater Disability Chamber now. But there's a lot of other ones that have gone on to be on school boards or other nonprofits, or even with some of our state agencies. So, and like Susie, she came through the leadership and advocacy too. She, went up to the legislative session and started to participate. And that's really important for families to get involved. So anyway, I think really this whole event, we are really trying to do a lot of outreach to the low income and non-English speaking families. And this COVID situation has really amplified their need, not only because of their financial need, and many have lost jobs, but then having a child with a disability on top of it is really difficult for those families. And navigating the school system this year has been very frustrating for families, and they're not positive where to go. So, Brian, do you want to take us on to our next Fund a Need?
So we actually have our next raffle ticket if you are ready for
Oh,
it.
yes, I am. Do you want to say that Boyd Handley won raffle number 2, and so he's donated it back. So he's gonna donate it back. So here's number 2, which was the $50 gift card, right? That was 110580. Does anybody have that number?
All right. Raffle number 110580. Is that correct?
That's for number 2. And let me do another one.
Okay.
110517.
110517. All right, so we have 2 raffle prizes up for grabs. If you have those numbers, make sure that you text raffle to our 713 number, or go ahead and put it into chat that you won and let us know, and we'll make sure to get you that gift card.
So our final level that we're going to talk about tonight, there's no video about this, and this is just something that we as a board and talking with staff decided that this is a very important thing for us to get before 2021. And it kind of, I guess, sped up with COVID, everyone being virtual and everyone having the website. And so this last level is $1,000 for us to be able to redo our website, to clean it up, to make it simpler for families who just learning about family to family, to navigate the website, to learn essentially our story, our services that we provide. I am willing to put up $250 towards this $1,000. So if we can get another $750 to fund this need for the website, you can put it in the chat. We can put it through the text. But this is something that we do need, that we are looking forward to improving, is our website tonight. So if you don't mind, please, 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 every dollar, every penny, every nickel, quarter goes very far for us at Family to Family to help the families.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So without further ado, one of our celebrities that has helped make Family to Family Network such a success, I want to have Miss Judy Blake say a few words. We have a fantastic video that I'm going to have you guys watch.
Judy Blake, and I am the Leadership and Advocacy Coordinator for Family to Family Network. A dear friend of mine asked me just the other day, "Is this the best job that you've ever had?" And I can honestly say, yes. I've had many jobs in my lifetime, but this has to be the most meaningful and the most rewarding. When I joined Family to Family Network less than 5 years ago, I thought that I knew quite a bit. Little did I know what I didn't know. Little did I know the people that I would be working with would have such a profound impact on my life. I always refer to us as tiny but mighty. And why is that? Because we do so much for families on a very, very tiny budget. I realize that there are a lot of nonprofits out there that do a lot for Houston families. You may be thinking, why does Family to Family Network matter to you? It matters because everyone knows someone with a disability. Everyone knows someone with a disability. And that's why it matters. And that's why you should be giving something today. We do so much for families. We don't just educate, we empower, we guide, we teach. And we serve families in a way that I have never seen any other organization do that. And we do it because we care. We certainly don't do it for the income, we do it for the outcome. When we say that we believe in success for all children with disabilities, we mean it. We don't just talk the talk, we truly walk the walk. And we understand the challenges, we understand the journey of what it means to have a child or young adult with a disability. You won't find a staff more dedicated. You won't find a staff that cares more. We have leadership and advocacy training programs. We have support groups. We have every other Wednesday trainings on a myriad of topics to make sure that our families are educated and informed on so many areas that are pertinent to what they need. Family to Family Network matters. We care, and we want to be around for the next 30 years, but we can't do it without you. We need you. We hope you support us, because we have been supporting Houston families for the last 30 years, but now we need you to support us more than ever. When they say every dollar makes a difference, it truly does. So please, please support us today like we have supported you. Thank you.
That was a very powerful, inspiring message by Judy. Thank you, Judy, for putting that together. We are coming up on the hour, so we promised it was going to be short and quick. A little bit more technical difficulties than expected, but thank you for hanging in there tonight. Please, it's never too late to text or fund a need for us to donate. We will accept any level of donation. Like Judy said, every dollar goes a very long way with us. And so we appreciate all the support that you've given us for 30 years. We appreciate all the financial, the emotional support, all the volunteers over the years. We truly, truly appreciate it. And so with that, I do want to just kind of put, things, don't forget the silent auction. I think that's already close to closing. It's 7:07. We're running a little bit behind. Again, thank you to our sponsors to make this event happen. We truly appreciate it in a year that wasn't expected, probably the most curveballs we've ever seen. We truly appreciate everyone going above and beyond to donate whatever dollars they could give away. You truly mean a lot. You truly are helping families. And unfortunately, there's some families you'll never know, but you definitely impact them in a very positive way. Yeah. And so we truly appreciate it.
Yeah. So like Judy said, every dollar counts. Help us continue to help support our community and really continue serving our families to help creating success for those children with disabilities and our siblings.
Yeah. I think I just got a message from Mary Jane that we have one last raffle, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Mary Jane, is that correct?
Green again. Yay!
Not Oompa Loompa color anymore.
Okay, this is, I really appreciate Judy and all she had to say. Your donation is going to transform lives of families and kids with disabilities by helping them discover possibility, see potential when others see barriers, and to advocate what they need to achieve their dreams. Your donation makes sure that every individual with a disability that crosses our door gets to live their best life that they define it, just like James and his best life. And all of you out there who have children with disabilities, they can live their best life despite their disability. So thanks for joining us this evening. And the final raffle ticket number is 110668. And I think, Josephina, you won one of the, I don't know whether it was the second number or the third number. If you'll just type in chat whether you had 652 or 517.
Perfect.
And this one was 110668, the final number.
And that's for a $100 Visa gift card, which I'm jealous of. All right.
Like,
oh, Michael Madsen. Which one did you win? The last one? Yay! The Madsens have been around. Colleen was a family friend a long time ago, and I think she still stays in touch with her young adult now with disability. And 110668. Oh, you won the $100 gift card, Madsen family. I'll bring it by over the weekend, since I know where you live.
Perfect.
But thank you, everyone, this evening. We really love everything that we do here at Family to Family, and we appreciate you taking the time to spend with us this evening. Thank you, Lanier Law Firm, Fitzgerald Wealth Management, Hanley Law Office, Blue Lion Pub. We really appreciate, and all our other individual donors that sponsored us this event. We really appreciate it. And now you can go and enjoy your wine, and I'm going to go home and enjoy a glass of wine too.
I think we all deserve it. So don't forget about the silent auction. Make sure that you. Oh, it's closed. We're done. Okay, fantastic. Okay.
I think it's
Thanks for tuning in.
It's closed.
It's closed.